Hello. And joining me is Noah. Hi, Noah.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, no, I can hear you.
Good. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Good. Yeah. So,
How's my
JB,
au- how's how's my audio coming through right now?
it's okay. It's a little bit echoey.
Okay.
You need a real microphone, dude.
No, I know. The reason I'm asking is because I'm using different headphones. My better headset is in the car. I actually have a microphone in my Amazon cart right now.
Nice.
Um,
What'd you get?
so it's the one you recommended, but it's the micro, like the compact
Oh,
version.
the Yeti Nano or whatever it is.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that should do fine.
Yep.
Um.
Um, and then I actually got a new desktop coming, and a new Chromebook.
Oh,
So
that shouldn't be necessary. I mean,
no, well, they're partially for me. They're not
yeah.
just for the podcast. Like they're for other things. But I'm gonna be in a weird position because I'm gonna have four computers.
Oh, well, that just makes you a nerd. Like I have at least that many hanging
Yeah,
around
right.
de-
But now
defending.
like
So
my the thing was is like I have a laptop. It's fine, right? But I wanted
yeah.
the Chromebook. It's like a tablet style one.
Oh,
So it's
cool,
like a Lenovo Chrome tablet. So it's like
cool.
something I can throw in my book bag easy when I go to like a library or a coffee shop to study. Is the idea.
Uh huh.
And then the desktop is like a gaming desktop, but it's also going to be good for like all my office stuff because my current laptop is great. I bought it like 3 years ago. It still runs fine.
Yeah,
But when I have like 20 tabs open for like researching stuff, it's
it slows down
it's
a bit.
slow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What?
yeah.
Hypothetically, would you be interested in selling the old one?
Yeah.
How much do you think, roughly?
Well, so I bought it for 700.
Okay.
I'd be willing to sell it. Like if you're interested in buying it, probably three.
Okay.
The
Not
one.
me. Not me. But I know JB actually needs a laptop because his is like messed up. So maybe we should talk to him about that because 300 is if it's a decent machine, 300 is perfectly reasonable.
No, the machine is like it runs like new. It's perfectly fine.
Cool.
Um, the one thing is ever since I bought it, I'd occasionally get like discoloration on the
Uh
screen,
huh.
but then it goes away. Like you close it and then you step away for a minute, you come back and it's fine. And then you won't have an issue for like a month, and like it's just so super minor. But
Weird.
the function of it's fine.
Hmm.
For like literally every laptop I buy, I have a screen issue that's minor for all of them. I don't know why.
That's weird.
It's just my luck.
How am I
Um,
sounding on your end?
dude, you sound perfectly clear. You're fine. I haven't seen
Okay.
any lag either. What did you did you get an Ethernet cable for this?
Yes. So I bought whenever we were talking about it last. I or actually was that Monday night? Yeah,
Yes.
I
Yep.
bought an Ethernet adapter for my laptop. It was in the price range I quoted, which was 10 to $15. It was $14 and some change. And it's a brand I trust.
Hmm.
So yeah, I ran a Ethernet cable directly into my router today, and I moved the laptop. The laptop is over here, just off screen, on a stand, and then you can kind of see it. There's a monitor sitting right in front of where JB would be sitting.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
So my laptop is mirroring to that, so he can read the comments and whatever else. Um,
Okay.
he's
And
getting
that way you're not having to send it all the way to the TV, which is farther away and probably harder for him to see anyway.
yeah, and it's wired. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
he's seeing exactly what I'm seeing on my screen.
This is awesome. No, I actually think this is like with that monitor with the Ethernet cable. I think this is like if we once I get my microphone and we're up and running, this will be I think a smoother setup
Yep.
than what we had at the library or at your place. I really do.
So let's since I've got the iPad right here, let me
Mhm.
open the stream on the iPad and we'll see if any lag develops. It shouldn't, because the problem was never my internet speed. My internet speed is okay. Now I'm hearing myself.
Yeah, turn the volume off on
Yeah,
that.
yeah. But the problem was never my internet speed. It's that the camera I'm using, it's my iPhone. My iPhone actually feeds into my laptop as a camera source.
Hmm.
It last time we did this, it was doing that over Wi-Fi. Then the laptop was streaming over Wi-Fi. Then I had the iPad connected to Wi-Fi. So there was just a lot of wireless noise going on. Now everything but the iPad is wired. The phone is connected directly to the laptop. The laptop's connected directly to the internet. And the only thing wireless in this room at the moment, because I even have Wi-Fi turned off on the laptop, the only thing wireless is the iPad.
Okay. So I do so right now the webcam I'm using is just the one on my laptop, so it's 720p. I do have a 1080p that I'll be using on my desktop when it comes in.
Okay, cool.
So that'll be permanently wired to it. So then when we do streams, we'll have better audio, and then I'll have a decent boost in video quality as well.
Okay, cool.
Yes, sir. Yep. How you doing? You good?
Yeah, I think so.
Good.
I bought a house.
Dude, that's so cool. I'm proud of you, man. Like we haven't really had time to sit down and talk about that, and maybe this isn't the place for it, but congrats. Right. Like that's huge. So
yeah.
Congrats,
I mean,
man.
I bought it last May, so I've holy crap, it's been almost a year
since we've recorded.
Since I bought the house, it's been 10 months almost.
Oh my gosh. Well, like how's the house? Like condition and everything's good?
Condition's decent. It's kind of small. I wish I had more kitchen space, but
sure.
Nothing was going to be perfect, especially in my price range.
Right. So the fact that you're able to like get into a house that you're comfortable with though at your price range.
Yeah.
That's huge.
For the price I paid, this is technically a ripoff, but given that the housing market just continued to get worse immediately after I bought the place, I'm good with it.
Yeah. Well, housing, everyone's like expecting a big crash, and I'm not a housing market expert, but I don't see it. I don't see that with inflation as it's going. The crash will just dip a little bit, and then it'll just continue to soar exponentially, in my opinion. So I think getting into it when you did is probably a good idea.
Yeah, because it's I know people who are paying rent, and they're paying more per month than I am right now.
Right.
And I'm technically, because I heard this was a good idea, I'm paying a little bit extra toward my mortgage every month, so I'm technically overpaying every month. That way I can pay it off just a little bit faster.
Sweet. No, dude, that's good. That's good. And it's good that you're able to pay more and be like, have a timeline in your head, because a lot of people get into houses and then they just kind of make their payments automatically and they don't really think about them. But having a timeline and trying to speed up that timeline as you go, that's awesome. Yep. That's awesome.
But it's kind of my lifeline, because if finances get too tight, I can always cut back on that and just pay, the exact amount.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's only $60 a month at this point, but that $60 could go somewhere else if I really, really need it to. Plus, I'm going to build my equity faster this way.
Yeah, dude, that's something I've been like getting into, is like, I'm trying to find ways to be better about my finances without spending a ton of time on them.
Yeah.
And one way, so I have Acorns, right? So every Wednesday, set amount of money goes into a mutual fund, which accrues interest. Cool. And then I have so I've set that up, and then I also have it set to where every time I scan my debit card, the spare change goes into the mutual fund as well.
Oh, that's smart. I never did that. I am not drowning in debt, but I am technically about $3,000 in credit card debt right now.
It's not horrible.
No, I'm slowly. Technically, if I really, really wanted to, I could pull my savings account and just wipe it out right now, but I don't want to do that, because then that would actually encourage me to spend worse.
Right. So just deal with it now, slowly, and then
pay it off a little bit at a time and try and. Yeah, I need to work on that, because I've been spending. I guess you'd call it frivolously, but it's all been towards a project that I've been working on for 5 years.
Well, right, but here's the thing though, is I get that. Like, you have to invest in certain projects. Like, I don't have a ton of liquid cash right now.
Right.
But some of the, I won't get into this all here, but some of the side projects I'm working on, they're not cheap.
Yeah.
Right. So, like for filing for that nonprofit, just the pay, like the initial filing alone was like $400.
Ouch.
Yeah. And then there's going to be an additional couple hundred for, like all the IRS stuff once you incorporate. And then we were looking at, so because we're doing books through the nonprofit, what we have to do, because the books we're going to print are public domain, right? They're outside of copyright.
Okay.
But they're older, and so they need to be retypeset completely. They need to be completely reformatted. And I've tried doing that manually, and it takes so long. I would probably be able to do one a year if I were
Yeah.
just do it in my spare time.
So you need manpower for that.
Yeah, so we're actually what we're doing is we're setting up an EIN, so we can actually get like not only grants, but we'll be able to hire freelancers
Yeah.
to do the retypesetting. And then the cost will be about like 300-400 a volume, which it sounds like a lot, but when you think of it in like a year, you can you can just save up and set aside that multiple times a year and
Yeah.
just do it. So that's kind of what we're thinking of. So
That's not something one could do as like a weekend gig, is it?
oh, what, retypesetting books?
Yeah, maybe.
What I assume these people are doing is I assume that they're either just really good at it, or they have a software for it that aids them. Is my assumption.
So it's not a beginner thing.
No, they probably have. Yeah, so there's a company called Readsy, and it's like a retypesetting software, and it's something I eventually want to get better at, just because I'm going to be doing some of that.
Yeah.
But for now, it's like, well, it's better to outsource it. So.
Right.
But if you learned to like get good with that software, then yeah, you could retypeset stuff pretty quick, I'm sure.
Yeah, that might be something worth looking into. Like I said, I do have multiple computers around the house, and I have it's an older computer, but it's got a nice mechanical keyboard over in my bedroom. That would be good for. I've been looking for some kind of side gig anyway. Just kind of to offset the money I'm putting into this project that I shouldn't be putting into this project.
So you don't have to talk about it on stream if you don't want to, but what is it, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, you half know what it is. It's the karaoke mobile.
Oh yeah, dude, no, that thing's cool. I love that.
Yeah, well,
I love
that. It's getting more complicated because I have ADHD,
Mm-hmm.
and every time I think of one thing, then I think of a way to improve upon it and to change it and to make it more complicated. So now I'm sinking even more money. I have no idea how much money I've actually sunk into this now, because this project started like 5 years ago.
Right.
And things were a lot simpler back then.
Right, but like I think you have to, like, for yourself at some point, you have to be like, okay, I took X amount, because you didn't work, was it all the way through 5 years? I'm sure you took breaks where you're like, I need to set this on the back burner.
Oh yeah, I haven't actually worked on, prior to the last 3 or 4 months, I haven't worked on it in like 2 years.
Right, so you should view that as kind of like a soft reset, and like not be so hard on yourself for what you're investing, because that was a long time ago, right? So
but the problem is that this is probably not going to make me any money. It's literally a vanity project.
Right, but it's okay to have things that you love if you're able to do that.
Right.
Right. So, and yeah. So, I mean, as long as you're doing that like reasonably and conservatively, go for it.
Yeah. Well, I keep buying. It went from just being a simple DIY project to being a kind of being an art project now. So I made the decision, and the thing is, I don't know how to do any of the things I'm about to list. But I made the decision to buy a pair of beater microphones, because they're good microphones. They're actually the one that you were using when you recorded with us in the library. I bought 2 more of those, but they're like severely beaten up because they're Shure microphones. So they're like they're built like tanks. They're meant to last. A microphone from 1974. Some of those are still around today because they last so long and they sound good. Shure hasn't really changed them, in however many years they've been making them. So anyway, I bought a pair of those beaten up for essentially $14 a microphone, because I found a lot on eBay.
Okay.
And now my plan is to completely take them apart, sandblast the bodies, hydro dip them with spray paint.
Okay.
To get a custom color scheme, Then here's the thing I really don't know how to do. I don't know how to do any of the things I just said so far. Um, then get some epoxy resin and put a thin coating on the outside of the paint to protect it, and then sand it to a matte finish because I want a matte finish.
I mean, that's a lot of
Yeah.
like labor, but the thing with that though, like you said, you don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I don't know
You
how to
would
do
actually
any of
you
the things I just listed. I've never
but you'd
worked with
have
resin before. I've never hydro dipped anything. I've never even taken one of these microphones apart before.
right. But learning how to do those things would be beneficial regardless.
Right.
That's like a skill. So it's
Yeah.
like even if it doesn't at first work out as you want it to, it's like, oh, now I can use these tools in these different applications. So it makes sense.
Right. Because I technically repaired the microphone that I'm speaking into right now, but it was a simple repair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
A wire came loose and I just soldered it back together.
yeah, and that I mean I've told you this before. Like your ability to just do stuff like that amazes me.
Really?
Like, oh yeah, dude, I can't solder.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I don't think I'm technically doing it the right way. I'm just doing it well enough to work.
If it works, who cares?
Right. Maybe I should
So,
start charging people for that. Like, hey, I'll
dude,
repair
yeah,
your microphone.
dude, people don't know how to solder. If you're decent at it, have people do soldering jobs for people on the side. That could be a side project alone.
Actually, if you're well, if you're a famous musician, you've got a tech crew already who can do that. But if you're
Right, but
like
you have
if you're like a beginner musician, that is one of the most essential skills to learn is how to repair your own equipment because things will break from time to time.
right,
Like if
but
you're
but
trying to make a career out of music, like not if you just play on the side now and then. But well, even
right,
then you'll want to repair stuff.
but a lot. All right, people are ambitious and lazy. Okay, so if I'm a up and coming musician or a tech nerd or whatever, but I don't want to
Right.
learn how to solder because I'm lazy, I just send someone like you to fix it, and I'm
Hmm.
more than willing to pay, right? So it's kind of the same thing we were talking about with retypesetting those books. I'm too lazy to come home from work every day and spend 5 hours on that, okay? Because I have school, so I'm not going to come home and learn this software. No. So yeah, I can just send it to someone else. Well, same thing with soldering. I don't want to solder my microphone. I got to go do whatever else. So I'm going to send it to Dave or somebody,
Well,
right?
yeah, it's
So
not just microphones. Like if a microphone cable breaks or an instrument cable breaks, I mean, don't you play guitar or bass or something?
yeah, I play guitar. I have an electric guitar.
Yeah. So like you know what an instrument cable is? Those break too.
Yeah, they
So
break all the time. I got to keep buying new ones.
yeah, if you
I bought
buy
like seven.
yeah, if you buy some of the higher quality ones, they have connectors that can be unscrewed, and those are repairable. Even the cheap ones are technically repairable, but you'd have to buy new connectors because they're molded to the rubber.
Well, so that's the thing. People are lazy and ambitious. They're also cheap. So like
Yes.
I go, I've probably only played my guitar like 3 times this year, or
Yeah.
last year rather. But back when I was playing more consistently, when I break a cable, I would just go to Guitar Center and buy the cheapest one. so,
Right.
so yeah,
There's this saying that I've heard recently. It goes buy nice or buy twice.
it's true.
What that's saying is if you buy the cheap thing, it's going to break and you have to buy it again and again and again. Or you buy the really nice one and it might break eventually, but it's easier to repair.
Hmm.
But it'll
Right.
also last longer than the cheap cable. And I know we're all broke, so buying the nice cable isn't always an option, especially if you're in a pinch, but
Sure. Yeah, dude. Dude, today at work was like crazy. Like
yeah.
absolutely crazy. But I made a pretty big sale. I made a sale it was like just over $3,000. So,
Nice.
dude, yeah. So, and I'll get a pretty sweet commission off that.
Yeah.
So I'm hyped.
I haven't
But
noticed any lag, and the iPad's been watching our
yeah,
stream like
yeah,
since
yeah, dude.
whenever I said I was starting it.
So when we streamed last time, I noticed the lag through StreamYard. It did
Yeah.
show me on your guys' end, and we've had none. So this worked perfectly.
Yeah, so I just need to wire everything, which I've already done.
Dude, sweet.
So when we go
Cool,
for
cool.
this on Monday, everything should work.
Yep. And so tomorrow at oh sorry, not tomorrow. Monday.
Tomorrow's Sunday.
Yep. Yeah, I gotta get up early for church. But for Monday, when we do the first stream, we should be fine. Should be
Yeah, I
good.
think so.
Yeah,
And
and I'll make sure to bring my other headset, not this one.
yeah, and I believe JB already has a topic picked out, so we just gotta roll with it.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
it was great. It was great getting to talk to you about, your, catch up a little bit. And,
Yeah, that was cool, and we effectively tested. I mean, I've been
yeah,
live for a little over 30
th-
minutes now, so
30 minutes. Yeah.
I'd say
Sweet.
that's effective enough. If it's been working this whole time, it's gonna be fine.
Awesome. Well, all right, man. Well, if you're fine with ending it here, I say we call it here.
Yep, I think we're
All right.
good.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Have a good night, man.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right, and for anyone who am I kidding? No one's watching this. Um, yeah, it's. I'm sorry JB couldn't join us tonight, but he had some issues to attend to. You know, life happens. So we're done. This was a test, and we'll probably delete this later. But if you happen to catch this in the future, this was not a serious episode. This was just a testing the waters kind of thing, and Carry Out Conversations is officially switching to Observed Chaos. So thank you for listening, and have a good night.